A lot of sellers think once multiple offers start coming in, the hard part is over. But that's usually where strategy becomes even more important because the difference between simply accepting an offer and negotiating the strongest possible outcome can mean tens of thousands of dollars. And one of the biggest misconceptions that sellers have is thinking that an offer is just a number. It's not. An offer is a combination of the asking price, the terms, the timing, the risk, and the leverage. So in this video, I want to walk you through what sellers should actually be paying attention to when reviewing offers and why experienced negotiation matters so much once your offers start coming in. Hi everyone, I'm Monica Druhi, and on this channel, we talk about everything buyers and sellers need to know about real estate, from pricing and timing to negotiation strategy and how to maximize your outcome when selling your home. This is one of the most misunderstood parts of the selling process because most people naturally focus on the purchase price, but sometimes the highest offer on paper is not actually the strongest offer once you look deeper. So what exactly is in an offer? When sellers receive an offer, there's a lot more being evaluated than just the number at the top of the page. You're also looking at how the buyer is going to finance your property, how much they're putting down, whether they're asking for credits, how long the contingencies are, and what the escrow timeline is going to look like, as well as how likely is the transaction to close smoothly. These details matter because every term inside the contract affects either the seller's leverage or the seller's risk. For example, a buyer offering slightly less money but putting a large amount down with strong financing and clean terms may actually be far more attractive than a higher offer filled with uncertainty. One situation that drives especially close attention is when a buyer needs to sell their current home before they can purchase yours. Now, that doesn't automatically make it a bad offer, but it does create another layer of complexity because now multiple transactions become connected together. And this is where experienced agent becomes incredibly important. A strong listing agent is not just looking at the offer. They are having conversations behind the scenes to understand how solid that entire situation actually is. Maybe the buyer's current home is already in escrow and all the contingencies have been removed. That's usually a very strong sign because it means their sale is much further along and there's a significantly higher likelihood that transaction is going to close successfully. But sometimes sellers receive contingent offers from buyers who only recently listed their home, or maybe they just accepted an offer and the contingencies haven't been removed. Now that creates much more uncertainty because now your sale depends on another buyer successfully closing on their home first. If that transaction falls apart, it can affect your entire escrow. And while your home is tied up under contract, you could miss other qualified buyers who are ready to move forward with stronger terms and less risk. That's why understanding the strength of a contingent buyer matters so much. Not all contingent offers carry the same level of risk, or maybe the transaction is still very uncertain. Those details can completely change how risky or how strong that offer actually is. That's why understanding the strength of a contingent buyer matters so much. This is also why negotiation strategy matters so much once your offers start coming in. Sellers do not simply have to accept or reject offers exactly as they come in. There's often room to negotiate. You can counteroffer and change the terms, the timelines, the length of the contingencies, and the purchase price. And sometimes the real leverage comes from understanding how motivated the buyers are emotionally. Because once buyers feel competition, many become more flexible than they initially appeared. And that flexibility doesn't always show up in the initial offer. Experienced agents uncover this through conversations and negotiating with the buyer's agent. And that's where experienced representation can make a huge difference. Another thing that sellers might not realize is that with the seller's authorization, listing agents can strategically disclose the existence of competing offers during negotiations. And when handled properly, that can absolutely strengthen leverage and encourage buyers to improve their terms. But this also has to be done very carefully because negotiation is psychological. If buyers feel strong competition, they might push harder. But if situation is handled poorly, especially if competing offers are weak, it can sometimes reduce leverage instead of strengthen it. So strategy matters, communication matters, and positioning matters. At the end of the day, the goal isn't just getting offers, it's creating the strongest overall outcome with the best combination of price, terms, certainty, and likelihood of closing successfully. And that's why experience matters so much once the negotiations begin. If you're thinking about selling and you want guidance on pricing, negotiations, or how to strategically position your home to attract strong offers, I'd be happy to help. And if you found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe because every week I share real estate insights and strategies to help buyers and sellers make smarter real estate decisions with confidence. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.